Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Michael Manning, and welcome back to Penn State Behrend Esports. Still in our first week of tryouts. Today, we have again, returning from last season, Overwatch. We have the very first day of our tryouts, and just like Valorant, we have a whole swath of new people. But it isn't just me in here today. We have a fresh face. You may recognize him if you've caught my radio show at all, but you care to introduce yourself?
Hello. We good?
Yeah, we're good. Just judging audio levels. I'm loud. I don't want to blow people's ears out.
Hello, I'm William. I'm Will. I've been playing League for a while, but never been on a team. And I'm excited. I think this will be my first time seeing Overwatch in action by Penn State Behrend.
Yeah, we had some good players last season, and they're coming back, and we've got some fresh blood that has already proven themselves to be very fresh meat. It's going to be very interesting, though, because I'm not sure if you know everything about the current situation, but obviously Overwatch 2 is around the horizon. It launches October 4th.
I've heard a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the Overwatch section of the ECAC, the league that we play in, is in a bit of an interesting spot. The Overwatch is actually going to see 2 extra weeks of practice because the league itself has been pushed back to wait for Overwatch 2's launch.
I wonder how that's going to affect that, because I feel like with Overwatch 2, while I'm not up to date in the slightest about it, I feel like some mechanics would be changed at that point.
There's a decent chunk of mechanical difference, including probably the most drastic is that the game size is shortened to 5v5 instead of 6v6.
I do like that change.
I do, after playing a lot of 5v5 games, prefer it. They shifted a lot of power to, everyone was scared because how they did it was each team has 2 DPS heroes, 2 support heroes, and 2 tanks in Overwatch 1 currently. Overwatch 2, they take away one of those tanks, and everyone's like, oh, that's going to suck for the tank player now. Blizzard decided to, in order to make it not awful for the tank player, make the tank player God. So, every tank, besides Reinhardt, my favorite, is a 1v5 monster now. Every single tank is given the true tank capability. Stuff that you see in other hero-based games like League, where tanks can truly be tanky, they never really were in Overwatch unless they had a barrier. They've changed that by giving tanks so many disruption abilities and different ways of doing damage and all kinds of stuff. Overwatch 2 as a whole is much faster, just from playing the beta, and I'm very excited for it.
That's good to hear, but at the same time, I can't help but feel like everyone's going to start queuing for tank and only tank.
Oh yeah, no, there were like 20-minute queue times in that beta just because everyone wanted to play tank, which is so weird after playing this game where no one wants to play tank.
Mom said it's my turn to be God.
Like, especially with them introducing especially with them introducing some, that's the wrong button. Boop, nope. Sorry, Robin. Especially with them joining with them adding their newest tank hero, the Junker Queen, who is just terrifying. They really seem to want tanks to be the bulwark that they never really got to be in Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is all about, it's much slower. It's really about, like, fishing for an opening, baiting your opponent to make a mistake, and then just hardcore capitalizing on that. Overwatch 2 really pushes both teams to be aggressive in a very healthy way, I feel.
I like that more.
Yeah. And it's free to play, which is always good.
I don't think I'm going to play Overwatch.
Yeah, that's fine. Michael and I will convince you. Don't worry about it. Speaking of Michael, it's Woogie! One of the, actually a couple members of the team now, some friendly faces for Will and I, but most notably will be, I was in Paris. That's Andy's name.
No.
But Paris is if anybody knows about esports, club as a whole, you might know him, is Andy, the president of the entire shebang. He is also here for tryouts. He was the captain of the Overwatch team last season.
Oh, I thought he... Was he ever on the league team? I thought he was on that.
He was the captain of the Overwatch team, and he was a sub for the league team. He never got to play for the league team, though. Because they never needed it. Because we went 5-0 on 2 of our teams and 4-1 on the other. I'm so excited for league this year. I'm very excited.
If they keep up a record like that, that's going to be really good.
We won 720. Sorry, folks. Just making sure some we don't have any technical issues. It looks like we are running smooth. Real quick, thank you guys so much. I remember just a few weeks ago I was asking us to hit 50 subs so we can hit affiliate and see what happens with that. So far, as soon as we booted up the stream today, before we even started talking, we bursted our new goal, which was 70. So wow. Thank you to everybody who's showing support for showing support for the entire program through this means. It means so much. It really helps show just how into it you guys are. And hey, to a bunch of stuffier suits who only really care about numbers, number go up big good. Number go up mean more money. I mean we do big good.
We do like money.
Everyone likes money.
Everyone likes money.
Yeah, it is just very, very nice to see. And we are leaps and bounds over. I'm going to keep bumping it up ever so slightly. I think... Hi! We do have the chat that we can actually see. Hello, Loving Karma. We're doing pretty good. How do you say you're doing, Will?
I think we're doing all right.
Yeah. Just waiting for the tryouts themselves to start up properly. But I'm excited to see what we've got. I don't know if we have enough people to do what Valorant did. I don't know if you saw, but Valorant's tryouts yesterday, they had enough people they could do 5v5s in custom games. I don't know if we have 12 people for the Overwatch team, so sorry. I don't know if we'll be able to do customs.
I am curious though. The only streams I've ever tuned into were for the league ones, and there was I forget what site was used, but you get to choose your character in band before choosing it in the actual client. Is that much like the same for Overwatch?
Draft LOL is a very specific case for teams that don't have all the champions, which pretty much everybody besides probably the varsity teams. Overwatch does not have a banning mechanic.
Oh.
You can switch heroes mid-match. You've really never seen this game.
I really haven't. Like, I know Overwatch and TF2 are quite similar. Mm-hmm. They're compared a lot, and I know TF2 by heart, but
they have
nothing about
I'd say they have similar map design and game mode thesis. Like there's 2CP, there's capture a control point, then push a cart, there's pushing a cart. Like pretty literal.
Okay.
They are removing, thanks to popular demand, they are entirely removing 2CP as a game mode.
Two
control points.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
Is 2CP not good in TF2 either?
It's not popular at all.
It's not fun.
It's not fun.
It's not fun to cap a point and then immediately just be told to go cap at this point.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's not great. They are... Hi, Kyle. We're not playing Fall Guys.
I mean, if you ask nice enough, you can donate to this Twitch channel, correct?
We're working all that out. Now that we've hit affiliate, we can work the money stuff out. Well, I am not getting. No. This is where I make my stand. We do not promise anything. I am not getting dono baited into playing Fall Guys.
Okay, then we'll play Among Us. Would that work? Would Among Us work?
No, it wouldn't. I think somehow you chose a less competitive game than Fall Guys. At least Fall Guys had a Twitch Rivals, bro.
What about like the lesser version of Fall Guys? Gosh, I can't remember what it was.
What, Unfortunate Spacemen? That's a real game. That's a real game.
Wow. I think it was
We're not playing Among Us.
I think it was called something like Climb Dudes or something. I'm not sure. It was weird.
The One Piece is real. Great, we have an active chat immediately. It's me. It's
Can we get DMC claimed on this? I'm just wondering if I can say the next parts of.
You can say lines of songs. That's not gonna
get much higher.
You're not gonna get DMC. Also, Karma. I'm not sure how this works on Twitch. I think you can just whisper us, and I'd hell yeah, sure. Heck, what you could do is just whisper the Twitch stream, and like whisper the Twitch account, and we can get back to you probably after the stream, and I can talk to some of the people who are funding our stuff. Thank you. Like we'd love to get that kind of stuff, and that we could up production value a little bit. Really appreciate it, actually. Appreciate the offer. Because I'm hot take. I'm not giving out my Discord on a live stream. Yeah, actually, we should have the, you can find us on Twitter under the same at Penn State Behrend Esports. Just, DM the Twitter account. We have a Twitter.
That account?
Yeah. I'm all of our stuff. I'm also the media manager.
I keep forgetting you are.
Dummy.
Yeah.
Stupid. But yes, you absolutely can. Either should work. You can absolutely do it. Yeah. Excited to be in contact. Thank you so much for the offer, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. But all we're waiting for now is for the actual He's playing Hearthstone.
It is a Blizzard game.
Yuri mind control offline for 2 years. I don't even remember who that guy is. And here he is.
The man, the legend, Andy.
The man who was in he who was in Paris. Nearby players. Do I already have everyone friended? No, I don't have Daniel friended. That's right. Who was also it's funny, not Preston, and Daniel, I did not mean to squelch his chat. That's a weird way of saying, that's a weird way of saying mute chat, squelching, but, two guys who you might remember from, the Valorant tryouts yesterday. It's cool that we're already seeing members of the team diversify, try and bounce between some stuff.
How many teams can you be on in total?
It is highly recommended that you only be on one. Kyle, I can invite you, buddy. You don't go to Behrend. Also, you and I are going to be left in the... We're like old soldiers that got left behind, man. Barrier tanks aren't good in Overwatch 2 anymore. We're old dogs. We need to learn new tricks. We're getting left in the dirt, man. We gotta change. We gotta morph. I'm sorry.
Don't use barriers anymore. Learn to take bullets like a real tank. In the face.
Like to your rock hard abs.
Yeah, yes.
Junker Queen.
Is Junker Queen somehow related to... Oh my gosh. In Overwatch, what's the one who's like, their ultimate is they spin up an exploding wheel and...
Junkrat.
Junkrat, yeah. Is that... Are they related in some capacity? Or
yes.
Oh.
So... Because I'm never going to get all this Overwatch lore that got into my head when I was like 13. In Overwatch... We're not playing Fall Guys. In Overwatch's universe, there was a big event that pretty much shaped the entire world, which was the Omnic War. At a point, humanity built practically sentient machines, and one day, the machines said, screw this, and basically manufactured a bunch of themselves to explicitly be war machines, and then went to war with mankind. They lost... Sorry, real quick. The Omnics, they were called, lost, and were there's kind of a whole Overwatch has so much interesting potential lore. Anyway, Australia got somehow turned into Mad Max.
Well, yes, the middle of it is complete desert.
So, in this universe at this point, Australia was experimenting with a highly volatile new energy source, and then the Omnics showed up and just blew it the hell up. And it turned Australia into Mad Max. So much so that the humans left alive are called Junkers, and they just kit bash stuff out of junk, like the bandits from Mad Max.
Okay, I get it.
And she's the Junker Queen because she killed the king, and she's like, "No, I'm the boss. I'm the boss." I crumped the big Junker. Now I'm the. Go play. Get up there.
We're seeing Michael on one of the Overwatch team tryouts just knock on our door.
Yeah, Woogie, who we will be seeing in the tryouts, making a big. Don't look! I don't play on PC. I haven't played in ages. I can't aim. It's just Reinhardt.
So
I did not. We got our first Kappa. Kappa HD, what the hell?
No.
It's so high definition.
Quick, do another emote.
No.
Thank you.
Thomas? Hi, guys. That's the OG Kappa. Thomas's first message is a Kappa. Hey, guys, how's it going? Thanks.
I gotta do one more, so then it's like 5. That's a good number.
You punk ass. I know exactly what you want this shape to be. I know what you want this to be.
Oh.
No.
Alright.
We're not playing Fall Guys. However, I will thank you guys for joining us. It means a lot that you guys are willing to just, tune in and see what's going on. I appreciate it. Now, I don't think we can spectate the practice range because it looks like they're sitting in the practice range right now. And I don't know if I should just start playing. Yo, wait. Oh, it's patchless. I have loot box. wait. This game's still getting. Hold on. This game's still getting patched.
If you donate enough, Michael here will open some loot boxes.
Ever since I bought this game in 2016, I have not spent a dime on it, and that is not changing now. I knew a guy who spent a bunch of money on loot boxes. I cannot imagine. Sad Fall Guy. Fall Guy. I cannot imagine spending money on this game in particular, because it gives you stuff so willingly, and you can just buy it. Don't look at that website that shows how much money you spent on League of Legends. Don't do it.
$20 for me so far.
Nice.
And it's all because of Alvaro. Anyway, I do have more questions about the Junkers though.
Okay.
In Australia.
Such as?
Are we sure they even understand the transitive property of rulership?
I mean, if we're looking at this if we're looking at this realistically, that's how things used to be. It used to be you kill the big guy with a big stick, and now you the big guy. So
So we could never mind.
The joke I'm trying to get here is that the Junkers work off 40k orc logic. The biggest guy leads. And why does he lead? He's the biggest guy.
We started writing in red because red makes
you faster, so you think faster. Then Olog crumped himself, and now we can't write red anymore. I love that. 40k orcs are so stupid. I love them. Oh man.
Multiversus is not a very good game. If you're looking for a good fighting game, you should look at Nickelodeon All-Stars.
I'm gonna get you. You are locked in a room with me for potentially 2 hours.
This is coming from a guy who has never played a fighting game.
Have you played either Multiversus or Nickelodeon All-Stars?
No.
This will once we get started, this will be an actual stream of the tryouts. Oh, shut up. This will be an actual stream of the tryouts for the Overwatch team. And we're going to have a few weeks of this. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m., I don't know about you, will be right here to stream it. It's going to be a bit slow to start today just because we're, getting into the rhythm, making sure everyone understands the process. But, it's a process. We're getting it grooving. Yeah, look, I'm trying, alright? I don't control when the seeds fall. I can yell at the seeds to hurry up, but that doesn't actually make it go any faster.
The seeds?
The dumbs, the players.
Okay, but why do we refer to them as a seed? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I was thinking of you don't refer to them as seeds. I was trying to be fancy with it. The only thing I have is this.
I'm sorry.
No, you know what you could do? You can go out there. You can ask them what's taking so long.
I'll do it.
No, how?
Let me check.
All right.
I'll be back.
Don't be rude about it. I'm joshing. All right. I joined the game. I meant to spectate. I joined the game.
I'm going to win.
My bad. All right. There we go. Now we're spectating. Now we're spectating. Now here's the interesting thing. Just like now, just like what you call it, League of Legends. There we go. Spectator tool. There's a lot of little quirks. I just need to make sure that I understood what the first person button was. Dang. Oh, we're just doing custom games for the tryouts. Obviously custom games are also used for the league, the 6v6s, which, well, I guess 5v5s when we actually start playing against people once you play, like, just to facilitate the games. But,
let us hope for a different outcome.
we, despite my best wishes, no, you're good. We cannot play Total Mayhem. It looks like players just for now are, shaking the rust off, doing a bit of custom games. And hey, it's funny we were talking about the Junkers. This is the map that they added when they had like big cinematic Junker deck. Very, very one note. There are, if I remember correctly, there are 3 Junker characters. There's Junkrat, who is just basically Demo Man.
I feel like Roadhog is also a
My team needs
yes,
me.
Roadhog, and in Overwatch 2, Junker Queen. Also, it's funny because it's spectator mode. We can only spectate one team, but we are on Michael's team. Woogie. Wow. that sure did happen. And Andy or Paris, sorry, is just flaying people.
Actually, I didn't realize, but one of my friends, Carlo, is actually on this team as well.
He's the captain, actually.
So I just ran into him, and apparently they actually use 12 players. It's just
Really?
They can't make it today.
Oh, okay.
So
do they know what they're gonna do today for Tryouts?
I'm not sure. I was told that they might start customs in 5 minutes if they can find someone to play Overwatch with them.
Okay.
But if they don't, I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Hey, Will, go play Overwatch.
Oh my god. I have to create an full account.
It's like that.
You see, I'd rather play Fall Guys. I think that game's really cool.
No. But actually it's interesting because I'm sure that we do have some returning faces. We only have 6 of the players here. You said we had like 12. But of this lineup, I believe only Paris is... I believe everyone else is new blood. Saint, Master Oogway, Woogie, Preston, and Raven are all new members of the club and new tryouts for the team, so that's very exciting actually. Like, I personally know Woogie's okay.
It's not the best.
It's kind of washed, not gonna lie. He used to be a pretty good Genji.
He could be good,
but you know, he spends too much time playing D&D. I'm joking. Oh. Oh man, it is so funny hearing all the things we could not say that are coming through the door as players just yelling them. Yeah. Do you have any other questions about Overwatch?
Okay, so you have radiated Australia, which is very cool. But what other places?
So we have Australia. It's kind of funny because the rest of the world is just... It's fun. It's explicitly funny that Australia got so domed because everyone else is kind of okay.
Screw Australia. That place now uninhabitable.
Like nowhere else really changed, except for the fact that there's some sentient robots trying to live there and maybe doing some kind of cultural revolution. I don't know. These seeds were planted 6 years ago, and we've gotten nothing. It is all the story you heard that Overwatch got was backstory for certain characters. There's been no active storytelling. That is why people are so excited for Overwatch 2, which has PvE, which is supposed to be pushing the story forward.
I feel like Blizzard is still going to do much of the same, where it's still backstory.
Yeah, I hope not, because here's the thing. Overwatch and League have a lot in common, being mainly character-driven experiences. Like they really care about the characters. Each character has an individual story, and like people get into these characters as characters. League of Legends is smart in where they let their writers write these full stories for the characters. They let them do whatever they want with the characters, pretty much. And then there's supplementary media that goes more into what the characters are all about. You've got games like Ruin King, you've got a bunch of comics. They released like a 600-page novel yesterday for Callista.
For the champion that...
The spooky spear lady.
I am Ghost, and I throw spear at you several times, and then I press a button and rip.
It is technically a book about the Rumination and Viego's fall, but Callista's the protagonist.
Okay. It's just a weird champion to pick, though.
It is.
We all make mistakes.
But
yeah, no, okay.
But you know what's interesting? You have weird picks like that when you hear about League characters, you're like, oh, that's interesting. All Overwatch has ever done is
They're just
they're
dancing
just
in
goofing.
front of each other.
All Overwatch has ever done, they've had a couple comics. They've had some amazing, like, Pixar-level cinematics that they just stopped doing a few years ago. And all this, like, pretty decent supplementary material that's all just backstory for the characters. And just, none of it really adds anything new. It just clarifies the short backstories that were given in. And, like, despite that, when Overwatch first came out, and for years after it came out, people were obsessed with these characters. Like, I remember just seeing, I am cringe, I am an art fan, on the internet, I am a fandom guy. People were in love with them. They were doing so much fan art, so much like, goofy, serious fan art of these characters. You had, like, songs people were writing for different stuff. You had, you had mountains of fan fiction. You had all kinds of stuff. People were so engaged. People were ready for this to be the next big thing. And Blizzard sat on it for 6 years.
Honestly, I can't say I've seen this before. I can say I've seen this before.
And from what I understand, this is exactly what happened with TF2.
Yeah, well, quite similar. Yeah, they had comics, they had everything. They had this huge, like, seriously, comics I think you would absolutely love because while I didn't get into it from those, like that, it was something that was like I got more invested into it.
Even from what I hear, like the comics were great, and then they just stopped.
And then we're still waiting on the heavy upload.
It's not real.
Yeah. and the Russian voice for the heavy.
Real? Wow.
Not the English voice actor.
Oh,
we still have an English voice actor, but
man, that's
still.
Feeling much better.
Jim. Wait. Okay, never mind.
But yeah, no. This is at this point it has been, I think, excluding any minor updates that they have. It's been, I believe, 3 years since any major update.
Man, yeah. Just from what I've heard, like Valve is not being great to the TF2 community either. And that just does really suck. And here's the thing. I'm excited for Overwatch 2. Blizzard are damn lucky that they decided to make this thing free to play, because Overwatch 2 is not a sequel. It is an expansion pass for Overwatch 1. And you know why they need to make all this hubbub about Overwatch 2, let's go, new start? It's because they had all this momentum and it died. My hope is that this is them realizing that, and they're using their one. They're using their chance to reboot all this and say, okay guys, we're gonna try again.
I think the worst possible theory that I have for Overwatch 2 would be Overwatch 2 is going to give the backstory, which is the active story in Overwatch 1. And then they're going to do nothing with Overwatch 2.
So here's the thing.
That happens.
They've already shown gameplay of story. Like, there's a story mode in Overwatch 2. It's not coming on launch.
Okay.
But it's coming in an update.
Gotcha.
That is the big thing keeping people invested in Overwatch 2, is the fact that there is story content coming. Like, that is the only thing that has people like, okay,
otherwise it's just
I'm interested.
Overwatch 1.
Otherwise it's just Overwatch 1 again with a new game mode.
¿Qué onda?
And like, I will sit here on my hands and be pleasantly surprised if Blizzard treats these characters with the respect that they should have. As I say that,
Are they gonna dance?
I have no idea. Somebody's gonna blow somebody's head off.
Apagando las luces.
I love this interaction.
I don't care what else is going on. This is the
Oh, they're friends now.
Iniciando el hackeo. Hola.
Okay.
Translocating. Always leave yourself a back door.
He's like, what did you do?
Much better.
But yeah, in the same way that like, and heck, this is something I didn't realize until I used my cringe art fandom fan nerd brain and looked up artists on Twitter, and Tumblr, and all kinds of stuff. Like, there are people who are really invested in League characters. I know. This is a very... Uh-oh. Oh! There are people who are really invested in League characters in a way that I feel like they really could have been, that they were in Overwatch characters. And then all the hype just kind of died, and now Overwatch characters are only really known for, you know.
Yeah.
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 And that sucks. Because some of these designs are legitimately great.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like...
Sorry.
I think at one point... the case I'm thinking of is
Oh!
That guy just, I don't know whether it's emo or goth, but that's what it is. Like, that's it.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing. A lot of the characters are pretty much just like... League has a thing where the character designers have gone on the character designers have gone on record saying that each character is supposed to fit a specific fantasy. Like, you have, name me a... Bard is the fantasy of this universe-trotting, unknowable, ethereal creature who knows more about what's going on, and he doesn't really care. All he cares about is collecting these relics around the map and kind of messing with people.
What about Kled?
Kled is
Because no
about
one plays Kled.
Kled's fantasy would be about everyone is on my property. Get off of my property. I will shoot you. Get off of my property. Also, my lizard here is gonna yell at you until you get off of my property.
I like Kled.
I think you would like Kled. He's a top laner. He's weird, but he's fun.
Oh.
And Overwatch characters are kind of similar. Like, the thing is, ignore, and you probably didn't hear about this, but this blows my mind. Blizzard, a few months ago, I cannot believe people forgot about this, but Blizzard, an internal memo leaked from Blizzard where, an internal memo leaked from Blizzard where, it turns out when they're designing characters for Overwatch, there is like, okay, you know how in like RPGs there's like a circle with a bunch of stats at each end and like you have a weird little shit thing? They had that but for like diversity. Like there was one for like race and one for like sexuality and like everything. And it's the most unbelievably tone deaf thing I've ever seen.
I mean, people are...
Who are you? How did you get in here? I'm just kidding. If you have all if anybody who's managed to tune into again Nerd Haven, you will recognize this voice definitely. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Liv.
It's Liv.
If you frequent esports or you listen to Nerd Haven, then you've seen me or heard me. I'm the girl with the short black hair. That's all, you know. That is actually terrible at video games, but I'm constantly hanging out with gamers.
It's alright. You get the best parts of the video games without the worst parts, you know, playing them.
I live vicariously through them.
Perfect. Yeah, right now we are just waiting for the looks like we've got 11 people now. We almost have enough for the proper tryouts to begin for this first week of Overwatch tryouts. So we were just kind of going on like the weaknesses between I'd say Overwatch's two biggest comparisons definitely are Team Fortress 2 and League of Legends. Team Fortress 2 for a lot of the game modes are kind of restricted from TF2. But it's not like TF2 was the first game to say capture 2 objectives, go, get a flag, go. Like
I can't imagine. I don't remember any payload maps from any game.
Okay, payload might legitimately be like a first thing. And then the other comparison would be how it treats its, or how it wanted to treat its characters, and the whole format of a primarily character-driven story in a game with just a bunch of unique characters that symbolize a bunch of different places. And while League takes its characters and fosters them and allows people to get invested in them into fan art and cosplay and fan fiction and all kinds of stuff, like people care about League's characters. That was there for Overwatch, but it just really isn't anymore.
Yeah, that is kind of sad. I remember, I remember when Overwatch first came out, it was huge, and just the sheer amount of advanced cosplay that were out there for the game, the scale was incredible. But you're right, I heard about Overwatch 2 coming out, and the hype still wasn't there.
The only reason Overwatch 2 has me invested anyway, and I did say this earlier, is because Blizzard have promised a PvE story. Overwatch's greatest strength was always its interesting characters and its setting with a strong potential to do an interesting story in it about classism and racism and a bunch of different things. They never did anything with it. They just gave us mountains of backstory on the characters, which
point blank, sir, I will sacrifice myself for the team.
Which is important, but a story needs an active conflict. A story needs something to happen. Otherwise, people are just going to get bored.
True. I mean, if we're comparing it to League again, I think we also need to remember just, first of all, the sheer amount of champions that are in League.
Like 160.
There's literally 160. There is something for everyone in League, and they all have a backstory. I would say Overwatch is probably not as diverse in, just the sheer amount of champions, but that's not a bad thing. I would expect quality over quantity though, and that was there for a bit. But I don't know so much anymore. I mean, that or I just haven't been keeping up with Overwatch as much as I used to. Like, I remember Moira's video coming out and being super excited about that. Maybe I don't have you know what? I don't have the authority to speak on the subject. I'm leaving this to Michael.
It's interesting you say that, because for a while, like, Blizzard almost had a Riot Games level of putting characters out. Like, Riot will put out a new character. At this point, it feels like every, 2 or 3 months.
And then they'll have 20 leaks for that character.
And there'll be a bunch of leaks. But, because when you have a massive company like that, stuff's gonna slip through the cracks. But, you have so many characters. And the fact that, Riot's still putting out pretty interesting characters, actively, is very, very impressive. Overwatch used to be like that. I remember there were roadmaps people talking about, when the game first came out, you, almost immediately after the game came out, you had, Ana, and then Sombra, and, you had so, interesting characters, and there was a whole thing where they made an entire ARG with Sombra that people were really, really invested in. But as it went on, and it really wasn't giving any kind of answers to Overwatch's story, and even any idea what Overwatch's story could have been, and it was just more and more dragging people by the nose without giving them anything. People just eventually they just shut down the ARG because nobody cared anymore.
Oh wow!
It just failed.
Okay, I think I've finally figured out the thoughts.
Okay. What are the thoughts?
I don't know. Nope, I still haven't figured it out. Never mind.
And it's interesting because I don't know where the production time has gone. Part of it is definitely because Activision Blizzard is an awful company that is awful to their workers, and everyone who still manages to work there and do good work deserves mountains of praise and is incredibly brave.
I mean,
first of all,
Riot's no better.
Riot is no better. No, and I will say that a billion times.
And
You are
even
right.
Nintendo.
Even like every
it's
game,
everywhere.
it is still an issue that needs to be like, okay, I get one every once in a while, fucking squashed.
Yeah.
But like
Everyone gets one.
You get one chance to say the funny F word.
Other than that, though, well, aside from that, I don't know where the production time's gone, because Overwatch has constantly been getting skins, obviously. Every time a seasonal event would roll out, like, Overwatch's biggest draw has always been, throughout the season, a bunch of events. Like, obviously, you have the obvious ones, like Halloween and Christmas and the Lunar New Year and summer and a bunch of stuff. But then it even had ones for, like, there was a yearly lore event where, like, some kind of thing would get a small PvE mode, or PvE mode. And there would just be little stuff like that to bring people back. And at the same time, they were still putting out characters. Character production all but stopped over the last few years until it feels like 2 years ago, the most recent character, Echo, got put in the game. And they announced that this is the last character that's coming to Overwatch 1. All production is being pushed to Overwatch 2. And it's like, okay, I played Overwatch 2. It feels better. But we only have 2 new characters to show for that.
How different is Overwatch 1?
Yeah, I did talk a little bit about that. The game is more aggressive. It's exactly what I wanted. Overwatch 1's combat loop is a lot about being aggressive enough to bait out your opponent into making a mistake, and then capitalizing on that mistake.
It's like fencing.
Yeah, kind of.
That's exactly what
but
fencing is.
without any of the interesting, artistry of fencing. Conversely, Overwatch 2 is hyper aggressive. It's everything I like in games like Titanfall and a lot of fighting games. It's
Fencing versus field hockey.
yeah. The way to win is to steamroll the other guy, because if you don't, he's going to steamroll you. And in the perfect way of showing that, Overwatch is 6v6. Overwatch 2 is 5v5. One of the tanks, each game is 2 DPS, 2 support, and 2 tanks. One of the tanks has been removed, and to compensate that, every tank hero has been made mountains more aggressive. My favorite example being the character they obviously spent the most time reworking, Orisa. In Overwatch 1, she is a heavily defensive character. She has a big machine gun that fires bullets that take a little while to travel. Look, there's Orisa right there. She is a centaur, like a robotic centaur. Yeah, here's the thing. Overwatch character design is still kind of sick. Like, I want these characters to be in something sick. They deserve more than this. That's what annoys me. You know how much I like and care about character design and character storytelling.
Absolutely.
It is probably my absolute favorite thing about video games, are the things you can do with these characters. So when you take these amazing characters and just do nothing with them, I cry. But going back to what I was actually saying, Orisa went from hyper defensive. Her abilities include a barrier she can put up for her team. She has a ability to shoot an orb and pull all enemies in the vicinity towards it, like a mini black hole.
Cool.
And then she could fortify herself, slowing her move speed, but she takes like 40% less damage and cannot be CC'd. In Overwatch 1, the barrier is entirely gone. Fortify is also gone, now that I think about it. Her abilities now include chucking a plasma sphere that if it hits an enemy, pins them to the wall. She can spin the spear in her hand to block damage, but not only block damage, but reflect it, and she moves faster going forward. She still has the black hole pulling everybody in, but her old ultimate was to place a device that boosted the damage of all allies around it, and it could be destroyed, so it's kind of like a hunker down ability. Now she has Nunu's ult. She basically picks a zone as her zone, and it pulls all enemies towards her.
This is my zone.
Yes. Over that period of time, a number starts increasing from 0% up to 500%. Whenever Orisa feels like she can pop it, and all enemies take a huge chunk of damage based off the charge. So Orisa's game plan went from hunkering down on a point or aggressively making checkpoints for your team to push forward or push the enemy back, really just like putting your stand here, into this is my land now, what are you doing on my lawn? And just forcing people off your territory. She became the polar opposite of what she was. And it feels great. Also, the new characters' kits are just kind of built like the new characters, I feel like, which is very interesting.
That is interesting for sure.
And like back to what I was when I was whining about, like, where did the dev time go? Because when it comes to Overwatch 2, we have like character design stuff 2 years ago. What happened? What have we been doing? There's one new game mode in Overwatch 2. The cool PvE story stuff isn't even in the game on launch. And we have 2 new characters. They're very cool characters, but just 2. We're supposed to get a third before the game comes out in less than a month, but we've had no word of them. And heck, Blizzard's even put out a roadmap saying, we promise guys, we're gonna put more characters in this game post-launch, but like, I just haven't felt any trust has been earned. I want to see more done with these characters. I want to see more characters. I love what the Overwatch character designers can do. You just need to let them. It's like, for all their faults, Riot lets the artists make their art.
That is also something I see happening with movies, and I think it's an interesting trend that video games are going in a similar direction. I think less so than movies are at the moment. Like, I mean, I think you guys, as fellow media, enjoy movies.
Okay. I haven't seen many Marvel movies, but I feel like Marvel kind of fits that description.
Absolutely.
Current state Marvel is current state Overwatch. If you just want to reduce it down to its base component, it doesn't feel great. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but what I was just saying, I think for that exact reason, not letting creatives do what creatives do, I think media as a whole, visual media, is suffering.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good comparison though. Current Marvel, like, I don't have anything against the current Marvel movies. I don't have anything against the people who are making them. However, compared to what was being made, like, when you compare it to the beginning of the MCU, which was shoddy, and like even some of the phases that we passed with like Infinity War and everything, it was obviously people making something because they thought it was sick.
Right.
Now it's creatives being forced to make a very specific thing because now that's the next thing that needs to happen.
Right. Yeah. It's like you made us money.
Now you're gonna make that same thing forever.
Exactly.
Like, that's why I respect artists.
Did they get enough?
It looks like we have 12 people, and we will be getting a proper game to something to actually cast. This isn't a podcast anymore.
I was gonna say, are we supposed to be like talking about like what's going on in game? This is
there was nothing.
This is another episode of Nerd Haven right now.
There was nothing going on in game, and you know what? I feel very rude right now because there is now a 4th gentleman in the casting booth that's just kind of been standing back here.
Good evening. Admittedly, I love listening to y'all rather than talking myself because you all have lovely voices.
I will, admittedly, I will probably dip for the casting of the game itself because I do not have the expertise to do so.
You think Will does?
I don't.
I mean, you've played more first-person shooters than I have.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I just find the funny ragdolls and the shoving people off cliffs to be very, very nice.
It's cathartic, It's
Yes.
things I couldn't do in real life. Like kill people.
Okay, maybe not that,
But yeah, I'm just I'm here to root for my friends and cheer folks on. But the actual casting is up to the guy who does the casting.
Your friend is named Woogie.
Perfect. Perfect.
Also, this is Andy's name, if you get the reference.
No, I saw it when I was watching the tomfoolery, and I was like, oh, you're kidding me right now.
Of course, his name can never just be something sane.
Oh no, it has to be
something completely.
I thought Wookie was Michael based off of a
trend.
Yes, a trend that I will not mention to save him some embarrassment, but I'll tell you later.
Oh,
okay. Tell us when we watch Vinland Saga later tonight.
Are we watching Vinland Saga later tonight?
Alvaro keeps talking about watching Vinland Saga later tonight.
Sweet, let's do it.
Yeah.
Victory.
I am curious. I'm wondering who is, what Carlo's name is, the team captain.
I'm gonna guess.
I feel like it's
Who's Master Uber?
Ganymede.
Oh, it might be Ganymede.
Yeah, because I feel like he's the kind of person who would have a Winston profile picture.
If I remember right, it's funny because Ganymede is the name of Bastion's bird.
Bastion.
I was thinking of like the micro celebrity meme cat, and also Zeus's cupbearer, but whatever.
No, I think it's a Overwatch story reference.
and I was thinking the planet.
Of course, there's a planet.
Not the moon, but yeah.
I figured it had to be a reference to something scientific because a robot gets a bird. What does he name it?
After the largest moon in the solar system.
A robot with PTSD. What if we gave Wally PTSD and strapped a minigun to his back?
You're acting like Wally does not already have PTSD.
Oh, he does, but he doesn't have he doesn't have the minigun.
All right, I'll let you cast, Boo.
Oh.
Best of luck, Michael.
Thank you.
Yes.
I am excited. And well, I don't know why I pulled that mic away from you, Will. But yeah, looks like right now we are seeing. This is like the very assembling heroes champ select, so we don't actually get to see this bit. We're looking a little bit goofy, but it looks like the first game is going to take place in King's Row, which is interesting. King's Row is a hybrid map. It goes, and again, Overwatch is like a lot of competitive games right now, asymmetrical. You have attackers and you have defenders. In Overwatch's case, well, not Overwatch's case. In this map's case, the defenders have to obviously stop the attackers from first capturing a point, which I wish I remembered how to like free camera this to just zoom around. I know there's a way, but basically how the map goes is attackers need to push out through this parking lot and capture a point. Once they capture the point, a payload will be spawned, and they need to push that payload through a couple checkpoints to the end of the map.
Payload tends to be, if I remember correctly, it tends to be like a car.
Yeah, it's a vehicle of some kind. Yeah, wow,
It's not
great.
really important.
I like this. I love this map.
This map is, it's again, like, just random little flourishes. Fantastic engage by Ganymede there, getting a nice flash to secure that Reaper stop him from getting that aggressive push off as he pushes further into the discorded Roadhog. Man, Raven just playing, okay, here's, talking with a dry mouth. The attackers right now have a fantastic hyper-aggressive lineup here. Both their supports, Lucio and Zenyatta are great when it comes to Zenyatta, or Lucio can heal the whole team at once. He can give the team speed boost. He can run on walls. He's a great like hyper aggressive support. There are people who only play Lucio because he's just a very unique playstyle. Zenyatta, on the other hand, is usually played a bit more defensively, but with his ability to basically pick an enemy and they take 50% increased damage from his teammates, he's very good at focusing down high priority targets. And that's exactly what the attackers did to already take this first point with 7 minutes left on the clock.
Wow.
Like, they targeted exactly who they needed to. They bursted down the tanks. There was no one to defend supports after immediately. Wow, that's a big Zarya ult though, but thanks to how aggressive he was, Lucio has the sound barrier to counteract it. And during that time, Ganymede dead-eyes and kills Orisa. Thanks to the huge flank though, by Preston. That gives his team just enough of an opening. Hanzo gets the Dragon Strike off and finally quells some of this aggression from the attackers. Now, Wookie is going for a very deep flank. That is, that's kind of what you do with Sombra. Sombra, similar to Spy, she has full invisibility unless she basically touches somebody. And her whole game plan is to, wow, headshot, immediately taking her out, is to get behind the enemy team and cause as much disruption as possible.
That allowed for their team to push up at the time.
It did, thanks to those, the pick on the Moira, who's a very important healer for the defending team, and the damage she did to Reaper. It doesn't matter if she got taken out, she did her job. She caused enough chaos in the defending lineup that they faltered, and that gives Wookie's team enough time to push way further up. You get 5 minutes up and fuck. Big EMP. Sombra's ability to hack, with her hack ability and EMP, shuts down all ability usage for a few seconds from anybody caught in the radius. So it's like maximum disruption, not being able to play the game basically. And with a huge EMP, just leads to an easily one fight, meaning that the attackers are already this far up. Now, here's the thing: Overwatch has always been a game about momentum. Like, ever since the beginning, it's always been about, like a lot of games like this, it's about winning more. Like, you need to take initiative early, and you need to keep pushing with that lead so that you don't lose it. The attackers are doing that in spades. Like, the constant aggression on the defenders, by constantly fighting, they almost always have their ult up. That's a nice pick on Ganymede, and Paris finally catches out Woogie with that turret. It looks like the defenders might be able to maybe quell some of this aggression, but like we saw last time, ooh, Raven popping the Zenyatta ult, stopping Seagull, almost dove off the map. That could have been really tragic. But his team's still alive. Looks like the attackers, ooh, Ganymede switching to Widowmaker and taking right ball straight out of the game. Man, again, the attackers, they don't want to lose this momentum. It's dangerous. Master Oogway getting 2 kills on that Zarya. They don't want to lose that aggression. Woogie gets caught out a little bit. There's not much Sombra can do if she gets completely caught out.
If only he was a bit better.
If only he was better at the game. I love you, Michael.
It's okay, it's okay.
But yeah, most of, especially the supports and tank on the attacking side, specifically Ishimoto, have done a fantastic job of keeping up their momentum. That's a nice big EMP. It's gonna force them to touch back a little bit more. Oh no, right ball falls off the map just as the fight starts, but Paris gets 2 kills. He's trying to fight this back, and Preston gets another.
They're right on the edge.
Yeah, this
a bit further, and they should be able to.
If this fight's lost, oh, there's the lava coming out from Torbjorn, but he's using it just to stop them from touching point. Looks like he might be able to finally stop this, but Ganymede's keeping up the aggression with that Tracer. Reinhardt just can't keep up. Oh, but here's Rod. They're 3.5 meters away from him. He couldn't be closer. The defenders, their spawns are right there. They're just chucking their bodies onto the objective. And there's the ult from Raven, giving his team a little bit more survivability. 0.14 meters away. And with that kill, a very decisive victory for the attacking side. Again, all these games are going to be for fun. Immediately, didn't even want to watch them play the game. Ripped out of that one. Woof. That was definitely a Paris move. Andy did not want to see him, did not want to get dunked on to play the game. I could feel that from here. Yeah, game sent back to lobby by moderator. But yeah, that is some of the, that's somewhat has me excited for this season. I know there was a lot of just me shot calling, because I do know this game.
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm understanding, and that shows, like, that goes to show how great of a caster you are, is I could understand what was going on, and I'm not initiated to this. So,
Indeed.
12 out of 10, Michael.
I can't imagine what it would be with Overwatch 2 though if that goes much quicker.
It's
'Cause
quicker,
that
but
was-
honestly, without with two less characters to keep track of, it's actually not that hard. I've given it some shots watching VODs of Overwatch 2 gameplay, and it's not too difficult.
Speaking of being uninitiated, what happens next with this next game? Do we keep the teams on the same side? Do they
It
switch
looks
roles?
like we're keeping teams. I'm expecting maybe a few rule changes because I know there's a few players like Woogie who do play multiple roles. But it looks like the teams are the same.
Okay.
From what I remember.
I'm thinking Andy, who was in Paris, is probably going to want to try to redeem himself with this one.
Okay, now first we're ragging on Michael, then we're just ragging on Andy. He's the president. This is freedom of press. Oh man.
I don't know, he may pull slander on us though.
Nah, we're just noting what happened.
Fair.
The game was ripped forcibly back to the lobby by a moderator. You know, just calling it like it is. I do appreciate something that's always irked to me is that some of the maps when these seasonal events come out, maps that make sense for it, like King's Row during winter, and this map, Lijiang Tower during the Lunar New Year, they get these adorable, very nice reworks for the season. Like you can see all the lanterns and everything hanging around it, like the bright red glow all over the map. This is only what the map looks like during the Lunar New Year. They don't use them anywhere outside of it.
This is the map where they have like they have this huge drop-off cliff
Yes.
towards the edge.
Yes.
And that's where I get my serotonin.
You'd either play, if you played this game, you'd either play Junkrat or Lucio just because I know you just fish for environmental
Junkrat
joy.
100%, I can see it. Just the vibes. I don't know anything about this game, but the vibes. Vibes are correct.
Now-
I have an idea.
Now, this being a King of the Hill, this is Overwatch's one symmetrical game mode, where both teams start in their spawns and are forced to fight over control of one objective, as you can see there. So I can't really call them attacking, defending. Let's call them Team Woogie and Team Paris.
Alright,
Just-
based off of the folks.
Just off the folks that we know a lot of folks, but just based off the folks that are probably easy to say. Now, Woogie's team is already making, again, a decisive showing. They've already kept the point. It's already up to 50%, and with a devastating May ult, they are just restated just how much control they currently have over this objective. And now Paris's team already switching up, making some switched up picks. We see a lot of different champions that we're seeing last game. Oh no! Saint goes in for a big engage, but gets caught out. However, Ganymede and Raven are keeping up the aggression. Mercy manages to res Muko, but can't get them all. Another kill for Ganymede coming from his turret. Do not disrespect the dwarves. He's even wearing like the Warcraft dwarf skin. Rock and Stone! Alright, the turret's named Carl now. That's just how it is. Next, I completely understand that ult coming out from Wingy, looking to use the explosion from Diva's mech to just keep Paris's team off the point, giving absolutely zero ground, leading to a clean 1-0 for Woogie's team.
Oh, they were capturing a point.
They capped the point immediately and were just like spawn camping.
I did
Impressive.
Yeah, they're doing a great job right now. Now, and with how the King of the Hill maps work, technically it's all one map, but there's three variants of them. There's three mini maps basically that it switches through for each round. That first one was, I believe that was, which one was that? That was Market. Now we're in Lijiang Garden, which you might like to see more. Has a giant donut hole in the middle of the map, while also being surrounded by sheer cliffs.
So,
okay, not donut hole. That's a different one. There is a circle around the main objective that you can very easily knock people into.
so it's a well.
It's a well.
For Sparta.
vintage mayonnaise. Good job. And
Sorry.
no. Oh no, Master Ukwe. Speaking of environmental kills, fell off the map, seemingly of his own mistake. Paris's team, they are Paris himself done being slandered. They are looking to use some of the same aggression that we saw Woogie's team use to just force them off the objective. And they have the point now. It's going to tick up to 100%. And unless Woogie's team can get there, to contest the point or try and capture it, then well, they lose. That is a nice Zarya grab. It leads to a clean triple kill. And there goes Diva. Knocked off the... I can't tell... Okay, I think what Woogie was trying to go for there, he was trying to use... Diva's mech can fly for a certain amount of time. He was trying to fly around this small bridge. And it looks like Crunchy Mayo... I'm just going to call him Mayo. Managed to beam the mech out of the sky, which Diva's passive ejects her, and she just flew off the map.
Well played.
Very, very well done. And it's like Saints leading his team for a bit of an aggressive charge. They are they are down a player though. Ganymede's on his way back to the point. He's on the point but has to get bailed out by his team. Oh, it still gets caught out by Preston. That's big. 75% of the point is already in on Paris. Ishimoto gets caught out too. He's just have so much stuff to throw down these choke points. And Woogie's team is really struggling to get a foothold here. Yeah, they're just trying to fight through, but with all the ultimates that Paris' team has been building up, that's a decisive fight, leading us to 1-1, which means we will be going to a tiebreaker round.
All right.
I can see what you mean by saying that Overwatch is getting momentum, because immediately as soon as they got control at that point, they held it for the entire game.
Okay, this is gonna be a weird comparison, but it reminds me of Splatoon.
No, I'd say that's a good comparison actually.
That's also something that, at least I remember when I played it, that definitely required momentum.
It's not as, I wouldn't say it's as snowbally as League, where stuff like gold and objectives could just completely decide a game, but like with the way that the ultimate economy works, where dealing damage or healing health builds up your ultimate, it can absolutely just feel entirely sided towards whoever's already winning. And unless you know what to do or you can make a big play, it can be very hard to make a comeback. Thanks.
Must make all the comebacks all this week.
Absolutely, it feels fantastic. And with this tiebreaker round, there's nothing to stop either team from making this first play. They both seem a little hesitant despite how aggressive both teams were. Woogie's already making a stand on the point as Paris is forced to respond. Ooh, a nice early kill on right ball. That's a support down for Paris's team. That Winston pick, they're trying to be a bit more aggressive, but kind of just getting pushed back. Don't even want to risk fighting the 5v6 to be completely just devastated. I say that, and Mukul dives in and immediately gets caught out by Ganymede, who gets a triple. Make it 4. Ishimoto, right ball just isn't getting to play the game. He got caught out immediately and just gets beamed again. These flicks are terrifying. Yeah, he has it, but there's no need to use it now. McCree's
No need it when he's popping folks.
it's not noon yet. So, oh man, that flash of deals so much damage. It's 12.
California.
Huh? I love that's a Twitter account.
Really?
No, and it's Friday in California. Yeah, it's like every Friday. But man, I didn't even notice. I don't know if it was a switch, but the rip tire for Preston gets a double. That might just be the momentum shift that his team needs. Wookie is forced all the way into the corner. He's barely still alive. Sage's trying to keep him up. He gets popped out of his mech, and he's still holding on. They're just trying to buy time for the rest of Wookie's team to get there.
During that entire engage, we get 2 kills.
Genemy does get Mayo, but Deputy catches out 2 others. Okay, Lucio has so much mobility. There's a third for Deputy as Ishimoto gets picked off, and for the first time this whole game, the point switches hands. Which is very, very perfect timing compared to team. We already has an 81% capture rate on the objective, so if they didn't make their play there, it wasn't gonna happen. Really looks like with the devo from Wookie and the Genomito, just devastation from Wookie's team, pushing in with these ultimates that they've been saving up. See, now it's new. Yeah.
Oh, look at the time.
No, all right, that would have been a better one. No, that's a better one.
Save that. Save it for later.
Say it. Write that one down. Now with 85% of the point taken,
I think they might be able to hold it.
it might
Red
just
Team
be
decides
this.
to push in all together.
Yeah, Red Team's just they're getting picked off. Here comes the Sigma ult to just hold the enemy back. Enemy catches out Paris. They're almost there. Oh, and they managed to touch their toes just enough that it goes into overtime. The nice Zarya ult doesn't catch out too many members of blue team though. Wookie gets a double, forcing the rest, the barely hanging on survivors of red team off the point. Nope, but there's the echo swap immediately transforming, and wait, they're still not done. Echo, oh wait, no, that's not it. I thought that was an echo. No, it's actually just a wrecking ball. And he's just spinning, trying to be as holding as much of the objective as possible. And with that D.Va ult, Woogie wipes Preston off the map and secures the second game for blue team. You know, that's a better color. Should have called them red and blue, not Woogie and Paris.
There we go.
And play the game from Deputy, who had some, especially in this first round, or second round, amazing aggression. Like, all of them chunked together for that Zarya ult, which is small black hole. Mukul knocks their Zarya off the map so she cannot even respond. I can't upvote. I can't upvote. What do you mean in the new order of the game? Are we done? Will.
No, we're not. Are we?
I don't know. Everyone's got.
That was 2 games. Although they did practice for quite a while, though.
Are they? Is it possible that they're switching teams?
Maybe.
That would make sense.
Hey Miguel, can you go ask?
I can indeed.
Thank you. Oh. I think he's right, but it's funnier if I make him like.
He heard you and has since entered back in.
I didn't hear a thing. I was halfway out the door.
It looks like we are. You made the correct call. Switching up the teams a little bit. Probably.
Maybe there's a little bit of randomization going on. Or do people play specific roles in this game, or?
Oh, there are specific roles. Like I said, there is tank, support, and DPS. Ooh. Sorry, folks. Somehow I was made group owner.
As a spectator.
After. What?
He did.
I did give Andy it. Michael sucks. Woogie is the worst Overwatch player.
Yo, is it?
Never mind.
Is it time
No,
to
I'm
start
gonna go tell him
dissing
he's the
Michael?
worst.
No.
Classic Liv.
I think that
Steal
game
the
was
chair, steal the
pretty.
chair.
I think that game was pretty good. If chat agrees as well, please type poggers. I will be waiting for it until then.
You might be waiting forever.
I
for your
probably
poggers.
will.
But yeah, that is just specifically from every member of Woogie's team. Woogie himself had some amazing engages, but everyone was making plays. Deputy, Raven, Mukul, Paris, Preston, everyone was showing some great engage, great follow up on everyone else. Like already some team cohesion's being built there.
The blue team definitely had a really good, pretty solid defense.
Mm-hmm. Hello! Alright. Looks like we're just waiting for this game to start.
Are we still referring to them we can no longer refer to them as Wookie and Paris, since Wookie and Paris are on the same team this time.
Yeah, now it's just red and blue. Why are we going back to Lijiang? That's boring. Mix it up.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun. All those pitfalls, man.
That's right, I can type to you, suckers.
Oh, there's Pepsi.
Take the Pepsi, Liv.
No. Last time I had caffeine after 5 o'clock, I ended up staying up until like 3:30. That wasn't good.
That sounds like plenty of Vinland Saga time. I'm messing with you. Also, yes, Woogie is stinky. I was originally on the other team and left the game like a moron. Is that a problem? Nah, Ishimoto, it's fine. We're all morons. We're playing Overwatch. Oh man, it's funny. There's the bit of like everybody hates the game that they play, and that's like, okay, you're more critical about a thing you engage with often. That makes sense.
Yes.
Overwatch players like actively hate their game. like there's
Okay, League players are similar though.
League players are similar, but I don't feel like all of it's warranted when it comes to League.
I feel like a lot of hatred in League of Legends is also directed inward.
It is mostly directed inward.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I play top lane. I get one good game. 90% of the time I hate myself. But, Overwatch is just like, I've been playing the exact same video game for 6 years. But, yeah, it looks like back to Lijiang Tower, so don't have to explain a whole lot of how the map of the game mode works again. But we're seeing some of that trademark aggression from the members of Penn State. I guess everyone's separate there. Blue team gets a nice cap on the point, but blue team managed to cap the point, but red team is going for a hard re-engage. Paris is diving around that Genji to be hyper mobile, hyper aggressive, but with the rest of the team getting burnt down. It doesn't matter if he has ult, the best thing he can do is just stall as long as he can. And wow, there was Mukul punching Paris's body.
I found this on the web.
My watch is sentient, it scares me. Skynet's real, and it's probably my fault. But back to Overwatch. Again, there's Woogie. Okay, Woogie and Paris are blue team's DPS. Woogie again with that Sombra. Slightest sign of danger, just TPS. Now, red team has a fantastic showing right now. Just overall, like, sure, blue team had the first initial capture, but they had red team had a great re-engage. They retook the map pretty succinctly, and now they are just defending this with their lives. And I just realized there's a Sombra on both teams. That would explain all the tomfoolery. Like blue team going for, again, this aggressive push through mid. Oh.
Pretty sure that's all of
Pretty much. And there's the ult pop from Raven. Zenyatta keeping his team alive, giving Mayo and Mei enough time to force them back. Again, like, Zen ult is so good for two specific scenarios. You get, oh my gosh, you get Zarya ulted, pulling you all into the same location, or you need your team to hold out just a little bit longer. Because Zen ult just rapidly heals everyone around him, and Zenyatta himself is unkillable. Zen becomes enlightened pretty much for a few seconds. And again, the switch from Master Oogway to Winston, going for, again, some of that hyper-aggressive dive, but it seems to be exactly what blue team needed. They shifted overtime and just wiped red team off the map. That's, I think, the first team kill so far.
They got a lot to make up for, though.
Wow.
Yeah, they're gonna have to hold this for a while. Should red team get a decisive win and wipe blue and capture the map? Oh no!
Sombra's
Woogie barely managed to get out. That could have been awful. But should red team capture the point and wipe blue from recapping it, then that's just the game. Meanwhile, we just got to hold this for a bit. Getting me into that Brig support for some aggressive defense. And Paris gets the engage from behind with the Dragon Blade. Gets a kill on both of red team supports are down, moving on to their tanks. That's another one fight for blue. Again, momentum shifting back and forth. Blue team probably only... It looks like red team might only have time for one more fight.
They're holding bridge pretty tight as well.
They are. Yeah, absolutely. And Woogie
Sombra
needs to be careful.
Oh my goodness.
He does have to teleport out, but still, that means he's gonna have to run all the way back and reset his entire plan. He's almost has his ult. He can get a big EMP here. 90% of the point, like, red team needs to make something happen now. Oh, and the catch out from Deputy. There's a kill for Raven. Mukul takes out Woogie, and this might be exactly the engage they needed. Right ball gets out Genomese. Kuchi falls off the map, but Paris and Oogway are still holding on. That's 2 kills for Paris, but he gets caught out by Saint's Reinhardt charge. And despite all of that, despite Mayo in the middle of that fight throwing himself off the... Oh no, but here comes back Woogie!
Oh my gosh!
Woogie holds this
Woogie's back!
longer.
Manages to clear the fight! Spectator mode! Give me the fight! Oh man, this is such a close fight. Everyone on both sides is so low!
One red left.
Oh my god! Blue team manages to cap the point right back! Woogie dying early in that fight means he got to come back like right as his team was dying, giving him the perfect re-engage. Man, that is like, when you're playing the character, that is like textbook what you want.
I will protect the innocent. Remember your training, and we'll get through this just fine.
All right, second map.
Yep, second map. Looks like we're back to market. Interesting, we're seeing the same rotation. Usually it's a bit random, but...
4, 3, 2, 1.
Again, looks like...
Capture the objective.
Ah! Sorry. Change up. Woogie swapped off the Sombra onto a Pharah. Meanwhile, most of his team says, other than that, stayed pretty identical.
Any other swaps?
Doesn't look like it from his. However, on the red team, what you're seeing... The first show of tonight for Doomfist. Who?
Doomfist. I remember his name.
Oh?
Because it's Doomfist.
It's kind of funny. However, I am a weakness for big robot, robot arms. So, you know, go in my head. Oh, Genomese gets a kill, but gets cut out by Deputy. Red is trying to slowly cap the point, but with the slight player advantage, Blue manages to force Mukul off of it. Deputy on the Doomfist. Doomfist is like, I've already said some characters like very mobile. Doomfist is hyper mobile. Oh no! Wow. Okay, so Saint as Reinhardt gets slept. Ishimoto goes for the understandable play and try and force him off the map. Barely whiffs it. However, Woogie gets a double kill from behind through all the chaos. Just peppering them with rockets while they're forced to respond to the pressure from up front of them.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Just an absolutely devastating pincer from Blue Team.
Now they seem to be spawn camping.
Yep, we're back to spawn camping. Oh no!
Boogie
But
died.
the switch from deputy to soldier. Soldier is like, far is very powerful because of her ability to fly. Natural response to that though is hit scan, which Soldier 76 is in spades. He is the Call of Duty man. He can sprint. He has the ability to regenerate his health, and his gun is just a hit scan powerhouse. Hit scan meaning there's different ways weapons work in most first-person shooters. Real quick, the spike is on. A double kill for blue team, forcing back this push from red. 70% of the point is already in blue's favor, pushing up to 75 as red takes another casualty. I will explain what.
Knocked off the map.
Knocked off. What? Not even knocked. He just fell off the map on his own. As Ganymede gets Raven and Uwe forces off Mukul. So, with 90% of the map in blue's favor and most of red team trudging back from point, looks like that will be a clean 2-0 for blue team.
Wow.
So, quick explanation for anyone who doesn't know of what hit scan and projectile weapons are. Projectile weapons are exactly what they sound like. Weapons like Genji shurikens, you fire the weapon and it takes a little bit for the projectile to reach its target. Projectile weapons tend to hit a little bit. Anti-pog, anti-play. This one, don't worry. This one's gonna be watched. We won't leave the game. He didn't even pop out. But there are projectile weapons, and then there are hit scan weapons. How hit scan works is with most guns in most games, you aim, you press the fire button. As soon as you press the button, the bullet has already reached the target. Like as long as
to imagine it as like an invisible laser.
Pretty much.
As soon as it shoots, if it hits the target, or if it hits any object, computer registers. Yeah, did it hit an object? If yeah. Heard it.
It's visualized as a bullet, but a laser is the perfect explanation. It's instantly there, fast as light.
And then projectile is definitely more realistic.
Yeah.
So, do you know how many more rounds we're going for this?
No idea.
Alright, cool.
So I figure it's only going to be till around 10 p.m., which probably gives one more game. If we're in Lijiang again, I swear to everything.
I just wish they utilized the environment a bit more.
I'm curious, these casts recorded? Or are they simply streamed?
They're streamed onto our Twitch, where they're kept as VODs on our Twitch for 2 weeks. As pretty much as soon as it's uploaded, they are exported to our YouTube channel.
Alright.
You know, I realize I can just type to them out there. Cool. I don't need to send Miguel on Goon Squad missions every time.
Okay, but why not?
So
well, because he's a little preoccupied at the moment.
They're not in the greatest position to go on Goon Squad missions at the moment.
He's a goon. Look at him.
Alright, this will be our last game, it looks like, on anything other than Lijiang Tower.
I feel like you could probably request for a certain map if you'd like, but at the same time, if you mention anything about not wanting a certain map, they're absolutely going to choose it.
No, what's it called? Oh, I'm completely blanking. The Grease map. Wait. Ilios.
You might have been not subtle enough.
We're going to Hollywood.
Woo! Oh wait, it's literally Hollywood.
It's literally Hollywood.
That's so funny.
All the maps are based off real places.
Oh,
kind
cool.
of. I respect what Overwatch was going for, which is almost a more respectful version of what TF2 did with its characters. Where like, here's a bunch of nationalities from all over the place, and in TF2 they are all just hyper stereotypes of each one of them, which is fun.
Pretty much.
You do have some fun mix-ups with stuff like demo and everything though. But Overwatch is trying to depict as many places and people as it physically can, which is a cool idea. I do dig that. You know, when it's not min-maxed by an algorithm.
I do like the actual style of like Overwatch as well, because while they have a certain thing for like different maps, TF2 has a generally consistent consistent themes between all of the maps. Which 9 years of development. Hope it was worth the wait.
You know what I criticize about 41? I love listening to movie commentaries. I wish more games had commentary tracks, because I know Half-Life has a commentary track, and Portal does too, doesn't it?
I believe it does. Yeah.
Some of the best games of the 21st century.
Ooh.
All of the old Dolphins do have some form of commentary.
I super dig that. Anyway, so I find it very funny that it doesn't look like we're gonna even bother playing 2 CP maps. I wonder if in any of these trials. Oh man, that's a nice hook from the defenders. Oh, yeah. But okay, I'm trying to keep up with this. Woogie on the on the Genji, trying to make something out of play. Oh, but he gets hooked too! A double kill for Zane's Fire Strike, forcing the attackers back. Anyway, we haven't played any 2CP maps, mostly probably because 2CP isn't in Overwatch 2, so why the hell would you practice them? So we're on Hollywood, another hybrid map. First, the attackers have to capture a point in which they push a snotty movie producer in a car through a Hollywood stage to his trailer.
Well, as
he's complaining. Around. Yeah, as he's complaining the whole time. It's funny. There's some real characters. Friggin' did anything with it. Anyway, ignore my whining. Deputy is making some great plays. However, thanks to that Zarya, Woogie and Preston get a fantastic engage onto the defenders, and with the nano boost onto Woogie, doesn't even have his own ult, which is popping now. Oh, going on to Deputy, trying to catch him out. This battle of the hypermobile, like DPS. We don't overextend.
Sounds like a character exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, don't want to get caught by the rocket punch there. But man, look, they have just Ana pushing the cart as the rest of them are just chasing the defenders back to spawn. Oh no, leave Raven alone. He doesn't deserve it. Oh man. Again, this is what we're saying. Overwatch is won by momentum, and Overwatch players have learned pretty quickly that you don't need that many people on the cart. Just leave one, like the Earth Shatter. Man, Saint gets a double kill as Deputy finally catches out Woogie. Here comes the shift to defense, some proper defense instead of just running away for the defenders. Just leave one of your immobile supports on the cart and just fight the enemy team the entire time, you know?
Now my question is, does the cart move faster if multiple?
It moves a bit faster for 2 and a good chunk faster if there are 3 people on it, but it's not like too much.
You can put the front line farther forward as well.
Exactly.
Most likely work for it.
Right. Man, Mukul and Deputy wiping 2 members of the attackers out. It's gonna slow. Looks like they're going for this. Something we saw, funnily enough, a lot in Valorant tryouts yesterday. Ignored his head. Preston. Oh no, he gets the Riptire, but it's caught out by Right Ball's Death Blossom. Oogway does manage to finish off Right Ball, but Mukul and Deputy are right there to finish his work.
Red team now has control of the payload.
They do, and when the attackers are not pushing the payload for long enough, it starts slowly moving back.
That'd be good.
Now, means that's just a bit of the work that the attackers have made just completely erased. And you don't want any of that. Man, the high ground whole hog from Mukul grinding up the attackers a bit, and Deputy finishing off Paris. Saint Ganymede does have the Earth Shatter with a big, oh no, there's 2 kills on both sides. Wiggy pops his ultimate. There's so much fighting over the objective. Woogie and Saint end up biting the dust, and Oogway manages to get Deputy right before he kills Paris. Wait, is that Paris? That is Paris. Dodges the Roadhog hook, but Roadhog does manage to get Ganymede. There goes right ball right after he finishes off Paris, and it's just a tank fight as Oogway and Mukul are fighting. Oogway manages to take it as the rest of his team pushes on to the objective. Thank you. And yeah, as you can see, the card is moving a good chunk faster now. And that's exactly what you're going to want there. Very, very close to that first objective that will, I believe, give the defenders 2 minutes and 30 seconds of extra time, as well as push their spawn up and the defenders spawn back. The typical Reinhardt tension. Both of them have Earth Shatter. They both know it. Oh, the Earth. Oh my god! The stuns on both sides. Oogway manages to get 2 members of the red team, but 2 members of the attackers end up biting the dust too. Oogway's Graviton gets 3 members of the defenders as Raven pops ult just to buy a little more time, uses it to escape. Attackers get to that objective, hitting 2, resetting the clock back to 2 minutes and pushing their spawn up to that door right there. That Woogie has switched from Genji back to Sombra, looking for more of that stealthy disruption. And as his team flies in, almost burns down Raven, but Mukul gets Ganymede and pops that Roadhog ult to push the attackers back a bit further. Preston switching to the Junkrat for some AoE damage.
Has ult.
Does have ult.
Is he planning to use it?
I feel like, yep, here comes the Riptire. Oh, and it catches out Mukul. Hey, 1 pick is all you need in a fight, especially with someone who deals as much damage as it can be as Disruptor from Roadhog. Nice charge from Ganymede onto Saint as Oogway's right there to back him up. Catches out 8-Ball. The Baptiste ult comes out, amplifying all friendly damage that flies through it. For the attackers, Ganymede's Fire Strike catches Raven. A Diva switch from Mukul, looking to just survive on the point as long as possible. Oogway's very low. Oh, but that's a big Earth Shatter from Saint, leading into a Death Blossom. Oogway tried to Graviton to give him and his team maybe a chance to escape, but it's not enough, and that's a wasted ult for Oogway. And with just 20 seconds left, the attackers, it looks like, unless they can get some huge engage onto the point here, which Woogie is looking exactly to do. Looks like he's going to try and stall for overtime. Oh, but he does get spotted. Actually, here they have 5 seconds to get on that point. A huge Earth Shatter, but Raven's trying to save as many members of the team as he can. Deputy's High Noon gets Preston, and with basically Kindred ult down, it's time for a big 4-4 fight. Raven gets Ishimoto, and Paris gets right ball, but Paris gets caught up by Deputy, who immediately gets shut down by Woogie. Mukul catches out Ganymede, and it's just Woogie and Master Oogway left at the point as Mayo revives right ball. Gonna get on the point. Oh, it's still in overtime. Woogie's holding for as long as he can. But with that, looks like we've switched to actual competitive rules now. That is round 1 finished. The attackers almost made it, they almost made it to the final objective, which
they were I believe it was 1 meter and 0.64.
That I believe. And with competitive rules, now we switch sides, and the defenders are now attacking. Chat.
Oh gosh, do I want to see what other people think of me? I don't know. I
Do
don't
we
think
have
so.
any chatters in chat?
Chatter.
I come on here on top. I come on here and talk to you, and I forget that I'm being perceived.
By the internet.
Oh god, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's all good.
Why do I do this? Why do I continue to do this?
Hey, don't worry. It's all curated. You tell me something you don't want, I cut it out. It's all good.
I heard it was your birthday.
Ah, here we are back to why is that? Okay, there we go.
Match has already started. Who do we have as champions?
I'll be busy
or
soon enough.
heroes? I'm unsure.
I don't remember either. I think it's heroes. I've just been saying champs. We do have Paris is back on Torbjorn. The biggest new one that I haven't really got a chance to explain is Baptiste, who is a nice nice change of pace as a support who can pretty easily defend himself. His main fire is just a very powerful burst rifle, and with his alt fire on right mouse click, he fires healing grenades for his team. These do not heal him though. So, with sides swapped, the red team is now going to have to push as far to tie or farther than blue team in order to take this one. Paris is in. He is in the rocket stone. He is in the crow's nest, ready to defend his limousine. Oh, that's an amazing visual. Oh no, but oh, that was a nice pin by Saint, who immediately gets pinned in response by Ganymede. His deputy gets Wookie, but deputy out in the open gets burnt down by Paris's turret. Diva is just, her neck gets popped and she just tries to catch out Preston, who's on Baptiste right now, but Ganymede manages to peel for his support. They know someone's up there. There's 8-Ball on his Reaper. Want to be careful. Reaper has shotguns and lifesteal, so he can do a butt ton of damage if he gets close enough. And the deputy is actually switched to Echo. Very mobile flying damage dealer. Uguay finally manages to catch out right ball with an ultimate that allows her to momentarily replicate an enemy champion. Oh, that's a nut. Ooh, Ganymede goes for the charge engage, but a safety ult popped by Raven. Ganymede forced to fight a bunch of the enemy team. The blue side stays on point, forces neutral out of his neck, and with that nice graviton from Uguay, he secures a kill, as does Preston. Paris gets 2, forcing red side back as far as they can. That was almost really bad for blue team. Just under 2 minutes for red side to capture this objective.
Amazing defense. I believe Penn is still at square one.
He will not let them take. He hasn't moved from that point. I say he's just shooting at them with this little water gun.
Tapping the water gun, making sure it's as accurate.
Oh, the turret catches out deputy. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter how you win. Ooh, nice ult block from Saint, stopping that Earth Shatter. Reinhardt's main engage, just completely silencing it. Uguay gets the kill. Here's the thing. When you're a flying character, especially when you're up against projectiles, you want to be as evasive as possible. Echo can do that very well. It doesn't matter how evasive you are against the auto-aim computer. That's just dealing damage to you. Okay, if you have... Oh no! That was a nice ult engage by blue side's tanks. However, right ball snuck behind enemy lines. Oh no! Right ball stuck behind enemy lines and took out their supports. However, Paris from his perch managed to kill right ball and hold the line. He just hasn't moved. Red side has 30 seconds left. Oh no! There goes the turret. The attackers have 20 seconds. They need to push on here. Oh, there's a kill. Oh, and Ganymede manages to catch out Saint. Ishimoto revives Preston, so it's a 5v6. Gotta do something here. Preston gets Deputy's replication ult, and there's the immortality field. The lava from Paris burns out Mayo, but the attackers or the blue side slowly getting burnt out. How doesn't even matter though, because they're managing to push back red side. All that's left is Deputy, and he doesn't have enough. Wookie gets a double kill and secure. And there is, after a very rude teabag, the final game there. A very, very powerful display from blue team. Oh wow, that was just some great attacking and some fantastic defense. And here was that big, gets a double kill just by swinging his hammer, gets a third with a fire strike, forcing the defenders back. That was fantastic. And with that, folks, we just about hit our 10 p.m. lockout. Oh, we don't get to. No, we can't. We don't get to vote. Looks like that will be it for tonight's Penn State Behrend Esports Overwatch Tryouts. Had a lot of fun today. Thank you for everyone who decided to watch with us, and thank you to Liv stepped out of the room, but thank you to Will and Miguel for hopping in here with me.
Oh, absolutely. It's good to be here. Thanks for inviting our sorry bums into your luxurious recording office.
It's not.
Yeah, it's definitely been fun.
I do love it.
It is definitely one of the offices of
Truly. So, just to everyone who decided to watch us tonight, and everybody who wants to see more of us, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can catch us right here, 8 p.m. every one of those days to catch a different games practices, and as the league continues, their games proper. You can catch that schedule on our Instagram or our Twitter. For this week, you can look forward to Friday, 8 p.m. For our first week of League of Legends tryouts, which should be a fantastic showing. League is absolutely, I'd say, the premier game for our esports club. So I'm very, very excited to see what we're going to have coming in that show. So, and you can come back here at 8 p.m. next Wednesday for some more Overwatch. And to everyone who decided to tune in, thank you deeply. Be safe, be good to each other, and have a good night.